All right, let's talk about moving from New Jersey to Florida. The reason why I chose this state is because there's tons of people that move from New Jersey to Florida every year, especially around this time when it starts getting a little chilly. They can't handle it. Most of the times you see the snowbirds moving a little older in the population, but in the last recent years, probably 10, you're starting to see the millennial, you're starting to see the Z move to Florida. Florida has become a hot spot. There's a bunch of people moving outside of Miami, though, because it's becoming expensive. But we're going to talk about just primarily on a general level, moving from New Jersey to Florida. Hey, I'm Striz, and welcome back to Smart Movers Club. This is where you make your next move count because you're using data. All I want to do is give you that data so you can make a better decision. Head over to smartmoversclub.com so you can get a daily email Monday through Friday on the economies, the regions, anything that's moving. We track every goddamn thing and we give it to you so you can make a better decision. And I hopefully, we can help you out. So let's get right into it. Moving from New Jersey, New Jeru to Florida. Where are you going to move in Florida? Thinking about Jacksonville? Because it depends, okay? You think about Tampa. You're thinking about, let's say, Fort Lauderdale, West Palm Beach. You think about Sarasota. Sarasota is a sweet spot. I actually wanted, if I were to move to Florida, it would definitely be Sarasota area. Tampa is a little more expensive, but I really like the Tampa area, St. Petersburg area. Definitely won't be Miami. Tell me in the comments, where would you move? So let's talk about New Jersey. Let's start with the state income tax, because that's where you're gonna see a crazy benefit just off of the income tax alone, and you definitely will see it in property taxes. But let's talk about the income tax. Well, if you're in Jersey, the progressive rate that they got on an 85K, let's say you're on an 85K yearly salary, or that's your take-home earning, whatever, a single filer here. You're giving Jersey about $3,200 a year, $3,288 to be exact. We took that from H&R Block, okay? Florida, zero. You're not giving the state anything out of your check. You're keeping the entire thing. You're playing, of course, federal. We're not gonna, you got to pay Uncle Sam, okay? You can't get around from that. If you get around from that, you tell me how. Don't tell me how here. Just email it to me, okay? All right, so the annual tax savings off the rip, you're going to save $3,200. Well, let's throw the 88 in there too. $3,288 a year. Let's say you're renting in Jersey, anywhere. The average rent in Jersey right now is about $2,085. It's about $25,000 a year you're paying in Jersey. Well, guess what? It's a little lower in Florida. On average, the state is $1,676. This is a one-bedroom we're talking about. We're not talking anything else. You could do the math if you're creeping up and need that two bath, okay? But in Florida, that's about $20,112 a year for a one-bedroom. So annual rent savings, you're looking at $4,908 if you move from New Jersey to Florida. On average, this is a general average for the entire state. So, of course, you're going to find pockets where it's higher, pockets where it's lower. But on average, you're going to be saving $4,900 a year for rent, and you're going to be saving $3,288 for taxes, the state income tax. So total kept, if you're renting in Florida, is $8,196 or more back in your pocket if you're renting and you move from New Jersey to Florida. Let's talk about if you're buying a home. All right. Home values in New Jersey, if you're leaving a house in New Jersey, you're talking about $564 versus Florida, which is $377 and $66, $377,066 in Florida. That's the home values on average, okay? According to Zillow. The annual mortgage principal and interest here, Jersey, $34,249. In Florida, you're paying that $22,800. All right? Same rate, same term on average. Property taxes, this is where you're going to see the biggest bump, the biggest increase. Of course, the home values too, but I know you could find some homes in Florida right now for that price in Jersey, $564,000. Wow. Okay, so property taxes, though, you are definitely going to see a huge benefit moving to Florida because of the average effective rate. So we got New Jersey is at 2.33%. It's one of the highest. It's probably in the top 3. New Jersey's coming in way above New York, way above. Well, I think Connecticut is probably there. Don't quote me on that, but New Jersey is one of the highest. I think it's top 3, all right, for property tax. So a year off of that same number that we told you with the average home value, you're looking at about $13,153 a year. Florida is at a 0.79% effective rate, and that's $2,900 a year, $2,980 to be exact. So you're definitely seeing some value moving from Jersey to Florida when it comes to property tax. What about homeowners insurance? This may be where we could get a little sticky icky, because you got Melissa that's almost coming. No, Melissa's not hitting there. Shout out, stay safe to everyone in Jamaica, everyone in the Caribbean island. I think it's going up to Haiti next, but this shit is category 5. I'm watching the news. Stay safe, praying for y'all in the Caribbean. But here's the thing. The reason why the insurance rate in Florida is so high is because of the hurricane season. You got flooding. You got to get flood. And some of these things are mandatory. Flood, wind damage, all sorts of different insurance. And the premiums are crazy because sometimes you got to only get the state premiums. And that's expensive because a lot of these companies, these commercial insurance companies, they don't want to deal with it too. Just like people don't want to deal with it, they don't want to deal with it because they thought the whole insurance loop was never to pay insurance, like never to have a claim, right? So you keep paying into it, and you get nothing from it. You just have the security that you have insurance. Well, not in Florida. Okay, we're calling, there's a claim, there's roof damage, okay? There's wind damage, there's all sorts of things. So in Jersey, you're paying $1,200 a year for property insurance, but in state average, okay, this is the average. In Florida, it's looking more like $5,700 a year, and that could creep up. But don't forget, you got some carrying costs in Florida that you may not have in Jersey, like a lot of HOA is what you're dealing with, Homeowners Association. So you got owner carrying costs, you got the insurance, you got the principal, you got the taxes, you got the HOI. In Jersey, a Jersey owner, that's looking a total of, on average, of $48,602 a year. In Florida, it looks a little less. It looks like $31,621. Even with the property insurance, it's still lower than Jersey. So I see why a lot of people are leaving New Jersey, right? Owner savings totally is about $16,981 a year living in Florida versus Jersey. So Florida's Homestead Exemption can lower that even more taxable value further once you establish domicile, which can increase savings. How long does it take to establish domicile in Florida? I don't know. I didn't look it up for the video. Wish I did. But the state that is like the best for establishing residency, literally 1 minute after you live in the state, really 24 hours, is South Dakota. South Dakota gets a shout out, man. They want you there. You establish domicile as soon as you step foot in that. So here's the TLDR in case you zoomed out and then zoomed back in. If you move now, you keep about $8,200 a year if you rent in Florida. If you buy later, you're keeping about $17K a year versus living in Jersey. Hope this video helped you out. That's on an $85K salary. So if you're thinking about moving out of Jersey and going to Florida, it might be a benefit. You're gonna earn more in Florida just off of GP. But what really does it for you? That no income tax, and guess what? Property taxes too. So do your thing. If you love this video, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. If you don't love it, tell me why. You know, I'm okay with that. If you want more, sign up to the newsletter. It's free. It's daily. It's called Club Daily. And I'll have the link in the description as well, pinned in the comment. Peace.